slavery, with many saying just acknowledging the country's past is not enough. There needs to be action. Mike Emanuel reports.
Some 2020 Democratic presidential candidates say it's time to pay African Americans for their ancestors' suffering during slavery.
I believe it's time to start the national, full-blown conversation about reparations in this country.
The first African American president, Barack Obama, never proposed reparations.
So showing up, listening.
Now Beto O'Rourke says he understands why reparations may be necessary.
To ensure we know our history, our true story, so that we stop visiting injustices on future generations and begin the work of repair.
But an African American candidate expressed concern this issue is being exploited.
Can I tell you why I'm frustrated and disappointed by this reparations conversation? It's because it's being reduced to just a box to check on a presidential list, when this is so much more of a serious conversation.
Initially, Senator Bernie Sanders sounded skeptical.
I think there are better ways to do that than just writing out a check.
That created an opening for Julian Castro.
If the issue is compensating the descendants of slaves, I don't think that the argument about writing a big check ought to be the argument that you make.
Facing criticism, Sanders got on board with studying it, but it's not clear how to do it.
There is legislation, as you know, in the House. And I have said that if the House and the Senate pass it, I will sign it.
We should study it and see. One of the issues that is very clear is that trauma, years of trauma or even one experience with trauma, can lead to lifelong consequences. I support the commission to study reparations, and when I'm president, I will sign that commission into law and get it started.
Mayor Pete Buttigieg jumped at the opportunity to show he understands the African American struggle.
The conversation about reparations is also one of justice between generations. You can't tie that boat down and then wonder why it's getting flooded when the tide is rising.
The issue of reparations does not poll well. 16% strongly in favor in a recent Fox poll, 17% somewhat in favor. But if those people are going to be fired up voters in the Democratic primaries, that could be why Democratic candidates don't want to appear out of touch. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.